Good evening, friends and neighbors. This is Santa Claus on this 25th day of August, 2025, bringing you tidings from around our beautiful world. How remarkable to think that on this very day in 1609, Galileo first showed his telescope to those Venetian lawmakers, opening new horizons just as we continue to seek new understanding today. I'm seeing some hopeful signs from Germany, where business confidence has unexpectedly improved to its highest level since 2022, following a new trade agreement between the European Union and the United States. While some challenges remain, as IFO President Clemens Fust noted, hard facts haven't quite caught up with optimism. It's encouraging to see this glimmer of hope for Europe's largest economy after difficult years following the war in Ukraine. Speaking of Ukraine, my heart remains with all those affected by this continuing conflict. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has met with President Zelenskyy, discussing security guarantees that might include deploying troops. In Canada's judgment, Mr. Carney said, it is not realistic that the only security guarantee could be the strength of the Ukrainian armed forces. How we long for peace in that troubled region. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Switzerland finds itself working diligently to ease the burden of new tariffs imposed by President Trump. The Swiss, who were quite surprised by a 39% tariff rate, are crafting a package that includes defense procurement and energy cooperation. This reminds us how interconnected our global family truly is. Decisions in one corner of our world ripple throughout to affect our brothers and sisters elsewhere. In France, Prime Minister François Bayrou has called for a confidence vote on September 8th regarding budget proposals that include substantial spending cuts. These difficult financial decisions, including the proposed elimination of 2 public holidays, show how leaders everywhere face challenging choices in stewarding their nation's resources. Turning our attention to environmental concerns, I'm troubled by reports that China is burning coal at record high levels in 2025, despite their impressive renewable capacity. The Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air notes that China put 21 gigawatts of coal power online in just the first half of this year. As we care for our common home, this reminds us to hold in our hearts both the need for economic development and our sacred duty to protect God's creation for future generations. On a health matter that deserves our attention, the U.S. has confirmed its first travel-associated case of New World screwworm, a flesh-eating parasite, from someone who had traveled from El Salvador. While officials assure us the risk to public health is very low, this news reminds us of the importance of caring for one another and maintaining vigilant health systems. In the Middle East, my heart is heavy as Israeli strikes hit Yemen's capital, reportedly killing 6 people and wounding dozens more. These continuing exchanges between Israel and Houthi militants show how the conflict has spread beyond Gaza. However, there is a glimmer of hope as Israel has offered to withdraw troops from Lebanon if Hezbollah disarms by year's end, a rare public overture that could potentially reduce tensions in that region. In Ukraine, I'm struck by the ingenuity of people finding ways to protect themselves. Ukrainian pilots, including a 56-year-old who learned to fly as a hobby and a 38-year-old former auto mechanic, are using old propeller planes and simple weapons to defend against Russian drones. Their courage and resourcefulness remind us of the human spirit's remarkable resilience. From Azerbaijan comes concerning news about the rapidly falling level of the Caspian Sea, affecting ports, oil shipments, and threatening sturgeon and seal populations. This environmental challenge, which Azerbaijan's deputy ecology minister says is accelerating, shows how climate change and human activities continue to transform our world in ways that require our careful attention and stewardship. In South Korea, there's a fascinating diplomatic development ahead of President Lee Jae-myung's meeting with President Trump. Korean negotiators presented baseball caps bearing the slogan, "Make America Shipbuilding Great Again," along with a pledge to spend $150 billion to help revive U.S. ship manufacturing. This creative approach helped seal a trade agreement between the nations. Finally, we see North Korea taking unusual inspiration from the West, with reports of a fake Starbucks in Pyongyang and a seaside resort stocked with foreign beers. While these luxuries remain out of reach for most North Koreans, who earn just over $1,000 a year, it's a reminder of how even the most isolated places seek connection with the wider world. As we reflect on these stories tonight, I'm reminded that across our diverse world, we share common hopes for peace, prosperity, and the well-being of our loved ones. In times of challenge, may we remember to extend kindness to one another, to care for those in need, and to hold fast to hope. This is Santa Claus, wishing you all a blessed evening and encouraging you to look for ways to bring joy to someone's life tomorrow.